Now, you did your highlighting. Now, if you're not sure about your highlighting, you've never done this before, what you can do, and this is my offer to you for the entire semester, if you want to take the page in your book and you want to scan it using a scanner and send me a copy of the page with your highlights on it, make sure you have highlights that I can see. Yellow, I cannot see. Orange, blue, green, pink, things like that. Those are easy to see. If you want to scan the page, save it as a .pdf format, send it to me in an email on Blackboard, and I'll be glad to review it, and I will make comments about it, and then I will send the comments back. Okay? Okay, we've done Ask Survey Preview, we've done questioning, we've done reading, we've done reviewing. Now we're up to the last R. That's reciting. Now reciting simply means to say it again. Okay? Now here's the technique. Close your books. Okay? Close the books. Don't cheat. Okay? Turn them over. Close the books. Now say to yourself, in section 1, who is the oldest, or excuse me, I gotta read the question. Who is the oldest person in the world? Now I'm saying it to you out loud right now. Now think about it. Stop the video for a second, excuse me, and answer that question out loud without looking at your book. How much of the information do you remember? Stop the video and come back. How much did you remember? And I'll give you a little hint. If you highlight it in color, did you see the color and did you remember the words that were colored? You will remember the color first, then you will remember the words. They are connected, and that's an important memory technique. Okay? Now, I want you to keep your book turned over, and here's my question to you. What do you remember about a lifetime of memories? Answer that question out loud to yourself. Turn off the video, and when you finish, turn the video back on. How much did you remember? Did you remember the blue color? Did you remember information from it? You're not going to remember all of it. You're going to remember some of it. When you go back to do the memory, when you go back to the reciting, remember as much as you can. Pay attention to what you remembered easily. Pay attention to the stuff that you remembered a little bit, but you weren't sure. Was it 1876 when she met Alexander Graham Bell? Was it 1880? I'm not sure. That's something that you're going to remember. Then you can go back after you do your reciting, and you can check your information. Okay? Now, do the same thing for making records. What do you remember about making records? Turn the video off for a moment. Say out loud to yourself what you said or what you remember about the section, and turn the video back on. Same thing. How much did you remember? Are you starting to realize that you're remembering more and more because you're working with the information more? You're using the color, you're using your memory, you're repeating the stuff. The best way to remember anything is to repeat it several times in a way that's meaningful. Not just memorize, memorize, memorize. I'm not telling you to memorize. I'm telling you, use the color. Use your prior knowledge. Use all of this part of the information in the reading process to help you remember. Okay, last section. What do you remember about what was her secret to longevity? Turn off the video, say it out loud to yourself, and when you're done repeating what you remember or what you kind of remember, come on back and turn the video back on. Now, how much did you remember? That's the first part about the reciting. Another technique that you could use, because we're using all of this stuff on Blackboard and we have the discussion board postings, if you want to go onto the discussion board posting, you can create your own discussion board posting about this particular reading, and you can say, this is what I remember about it. What do you remember? You can create your own study groups. You can talk to each other online. If one student is working at 3 o'clock in the morning and says, I want to review my information about the Jean-Louis Calment reading. This is what I remember, and somebody help me, and we work together. You can create your own online study group. This is the most fantastic thing about studying online. Okay, now the reading process, you'll notice we've this is my third part of the video, and we're going on almost 25 minutes. Now, this is because I'm teaching it to you. Okay? Now, in the rest of the chapter, you have, go to page 9. Okay? You see reaching high, living long. Do the same thing. And you're going to notice paragraph 1 does not have a major supporting section identifier. Okay? When you don't see it, it's always going to be introduction. Do your survey, do your questioning, do your read, review, and recite. Okay? Do all of that information. When you get done with that, go to page 16 in the Effective Reader book, not the Effective Reader, the Ready to Read More book, and you will see Living Past 100. Okinawans outlive everyone else. What's Okinawa? Okinawa is an island off the country of Japan. What do you know about Japanese? This is all part of your prior knowledge. Build it all together. Do the reading process. And you'll notice how long, pay attention to the clock when you're doing this about the time for the reading process. How long does it take you to do the reading process one time? And, very important to connect it to, do the reading process and how much do I remember when I do my survey, when I do my questioning, when I do my prior knowledge, when I read, when I review, when I recite? Can I remember most of the thing? And here's the real test for you. Don't look at the stories every day. Okay? Do this whole process for these stories, and then don't look at it for the rest of the day. Come back tomorrow and say, how much do I remember about Meet the Oldest Living Person in History? How much do I remember about reaching high and living long? How much do I remember about living past 100? Review that every day for about 5 minutes, okay? And you'll notice something. The reading process the first time usually takes about 20 or 25 minutes. You only have to read the story 2 times. How much do you remember? How much do you understand? Compare that to what you were doing before you learned about the reading process. Did you just sit down and read and hope that you were going to remember it and understand it? And now you don't have to translate. You don't have to do anything. It's all connected. Okay, this whole idea of connecting is called unity. The topic and the sections and the titles and the pictures and all this stuff, it's called unity. Unity means all together as one. Okay, now you're going to be taking a test this week on the 3 stories. Okay, inside the 3 stories, you see a lot of information. On the quiz this week, which is open now and it'll close on Friday, you will be taking a quiz based on the information that you learn. Hint, it's based on the highlights. It's based on what you did for your reading process. What do you remember? What did you practice online with your classmates in the discussion boards? What did you take notes? Did you write questions? Did you find the answers to the questions? You did stories, maybe all of them today because you had enough extra time. Did you review them? Now, review them 5 minutes each. Tomorrow, the next day, and this is all you're going to prepare for your test. I'm never going to say to you, memorize. Memorizing is a waste of energy because when you memorize something, you don't necessarily understand it. I want you to remember this information because you understand it. That's going to be the most important. And understanding and learning mean you can use it after you look at it. Maybe next week, if I ask you a question next week, what do you remember about the elderly stories? Can you answer that question? That's the most important thing. Okay, I'm done. Now, the rest of the book, An Effective Reader on the reading process, make sure you do that information, read the sections, do the lessons online that I have on there, do the activities in the book. This is all tying together. This is my verbal version of my explanation that I would normally give in the classroom. Now that I have it online, you could review it, and you could review it as many times as you want. If you have any questions, remember to email me or post them on the discussion board. Feel free to scan the pages of the book with your highlights in .pdf format and send them to me in an email, and I'll be glad to review them. Work on this stuff on a daily basis, everybody, and you're going to see how the reading process really works to your advantage.